It's a little disco-esque.
Can you feel it?
Got your Flash Fever shirt on.
Oh, I gotta undo one more button if we're gonna go flash.
Oh, no.
We're going dance fever, baby. I'm gonna do it right. Welcome, everybody.
Welcome, welcome. Glad to have you with us today.
With Motivating Money. My name is Michael Terrio. With me, as always, my good friend, Miss Cassandra Ataferro.
Hello, good afternoon, good morning.
Wherever the hell you are, it is what it is.
It is what it is. It's good.
God is good.
No comment.
So anyway,
We
what do you
keep
want to talk
religion out
about
of
today?
this.
What do you want to discuss today on Motivate Money?
You know, I think we should talk about interest rates. Good, bad, ugly, how people are being affected by them.
Jeez, you didn't want to start out with anything really all that fun. I was thinking something way cooler like the 4 C's or something.
You can't put me on the spot and tell me I'm wrong.
Oh boy. Well, now we know what not to do in the
Let's talk
future.
about the lack of initiative for marketing.
For real though. I mean, let's talk about the dirty secret of investment, being in this world, being in this business of the advisor world.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the crazy thing is that if you look at statistically speaking right now, Cass, there's so many people looking for help. You and I looked on Google yesterday and there was a 2,000% bump in people searching for financial planners near them.
Mm-hmm.
But we're seeing across the board a significant decline in financial advisors growing their practices.
This is true. I think everyone, they're a little bit paralyzed. They don't know what to do. How is it working? How do we go about it? So they really run into, well, I don't know, so I'm not going to.
Yeah, or they're worried about cash flow, or they're worried about these things.
Mhm.
But it's really an interesting place that we're in when you think about it, because people want help. There's people to help them, but they're not able to join forces and make it all work.
It's a misconnection. The KVJ
Misconnection?
show does misconnections.
Is it misconnection or is it a disconnect?
Both.
Okay.
It's a disconnect
Go with
because
it.
they're not connecting with their environment. It's a misconnect because there is the opportunity to do it right now and people are just missing it.
It's a damn shame, honestly, when you look at it, because we think it was an interesting conversation you and I had with a gentleman today on the call. His name was Michael. And he asked me, so what do you think the future looks like for advisors?
That was a good question.
Yeah. I mean, does it look good? Does it look bad? Does it look really, really bad? Is it going to be just kind of normal status quo? And the thing that we talk about that's on the slide right now, I don't know if you can see it, but we talk
Yes.
about the struggles today can create the success tomorrow. And the answer that I really gave him was, Michael, it depends upon the advisor.
Mm-hmm. Work ethic, grind. What are
Yeah,
they
yeah, I
willing
mean,
to do?
Yeah. I mean, when you look at the average age of an advisor right now, the majority of advisors are getting ready to exit this business. And then we look at COVID, we look at the frustration that people are having right now, that might be enough of a catalyst to get people to want to leave. But what is that succession plan, right? I know that for my firm personally, I'm in full-fledged acquisition mode. I want to go out and continue to grow. I want to build something for myself, for my team, for my family, and continue to have something to work for. It helps me feel alive.
Yeah, it's your motivation, keeps you going.
Not everyone feels that way though.
No, sometimes I think they see it as just a struggle. And really, I mean, it's right there, struggling today. So how do you make that a success for tomorrow? It's not a matter of sticking your head in the sand, waiting for someone else to provide a silver bullet for you. Life doesn't work that way.
Yeah, I'm amazed to me how many times we talk to people about different ideas
Mm-hmm.
that we know work, because we've done them here. We've utilized them. I meet with clients all the time, and we're growing very rapidly again as a firm. I mean, just even the last 2 months that we've committed to doing it, it's been boom, just off the charts, even during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have all these advisors that tell me that they want something to happen, but they're not really willing to grind it out. They're not really willing to go after it and utilize the things. And the way I can best describe it, it's almost like if you had every piece of equipment that Arnold Schwarzenegger had at your disposal at your home, and you want to look just like him, it's not enough to just have the equipment.
Right. You actually have to do the work.
What?
Look, if you're putting IKEA furniture together, people buy it because it's a little bit cheaper. Maybe they enjoy putting it together. So same scenario. You can have all the parts, you can have all the nuts and bolts, but guess what? Unless you put it together, you don't have a drawer. You don't have a credenza. It's just going to sit in a box.
Well, and with all the respect, you get what you pay for. Sometimes it's a piece of shit too.
This is true.
And if
And
you
if you're
buy,
shitty about putting it together, it's going to fall apart. Actually, that's a good point.
go with it. I like
If
where you're
you
going with
don't
this
follow the
direction.
directions,
Mhm.
if you're hasty, you don't have the right screws in the right place, you're not using your washers, that piece of furniture is not going to function and stay as long as you want. Take the same exact thing in life. It might take a little bit of prep time, takes a little bit of work, a little
Sure.
bit more effort, but it's going to last you for years rather than crumbling in a month.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. And most of us utilize IKEA furniture as a stepping stone to actually eventually be able to buy something that's really nice.
Yeah.
Because what you want is something that's going to look nice, but we all know that it's particle board bullshit and it's going to fall apart at some point. And eventually we want the stuff, we just don't have that stuff. I think the whole point comes down to is like, it comes down to grind.
It
You know,
does.
when I first moved to Florida, I met a gentleman. I won't call him out on the podcast because I don't want to make this something that would make it uncomfortable if I ever see him around town. But he came to me and he's like, Mike, how do I do what you do? And I said, what do you mean? He's like, well, how do I make what you make? And how do I grow my business like you've grown? And I said, let me watch you. I'm going to watch you work for the next 2 weeks. And I want to see what it all looks like, after 2 weeks. And what I think there'll probably be some tips and things I can help you with. So it didn't even take me 2 weeks. It took 2 weeks, but I met him at Panera and I said, John, there's something you need to do.
You just said his name.
Well, it's just John. I mean, it's a valid
So
point.
don't go by his last name the next time you
Ookie
reference.
dookie. That's going to get weird. But no, I said, John, you got to work, man. That's it. You're not even showing up, dude. Like you're not even showing up to make your practice successful. So if you're not willing to even show up, if you're not willing to get your ass out of bed, who's going to do it for you? And I think that that's one of the biggest issues. I mean, you on your side, being in the fact that you help coach producers and you help get them to the next level. And your major goal is to help them blow up their practice. You know damn well that there's only so much you can do from a coaching standpoint.
Mm-hmm. And it's not doing them any favors too. When I jump in and I take care of something for someone, either I'm missing a
Who taught you that?
learning opportunity, teaching opportunity, and pretty much enabling someone if they don't want to do it and they're always going to figure someone else is there to do it for them. That creates a really bad habit. And when it's not there anymore, they don't know what to do.
Yeah. So, we talked about the 4 C's and I showed that slide earlier. I don't know if I have it on the screen right now. I don't. I know for a fact I don't.
Nope.
But, I talk about the 4 C's, which I think is a very important thing to discuss because when you're looking at the 4 C's, which is coming up right about now, there it is. It's catalyst, cultivate, consistency, and close. And I think that what people have to realize in today's industry, Cass, is that you need to know what you're in. Are you a business owner? Are you a salesperson? Are you a consultant? Are you a hack? Are you real? What do you want to be? And would the big question is, would you work with yourself?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Right? Like, would you actually work with yourself? Would you sit back and say, yeah, I'd hire him? Be honest with yourself.
Well, and you can do that on two sides. Who are they as a financial advisor? And would they work for themselves as an employee?
Sure.
How are you actually running your day-to-day business?
Is it something that's going to be successful? Because keep in mind, especially for employees, they want to know that their job's going to be there in the future.
Right.
But are you someone that you would hire yourself? And if you're not, and you're really honest with it, that's okay. The first step is accepting that. But then the next step is saying, okay, what can I do to make this thing better? So when you look at your business, the 4 C's really it's not a clockwise or counterclockwise type of scenario. It's a deal where you have to realize that all 4 of these components, whether it be catalyst, cultivation, consistency, and close, all 4 of those components need to work together to provide you more than likely what you see. So to give you another analogy, going back to the Arnold Schwarzenegger analogy, he doesn't just work his biceps, right? He has to work an overall component. He has to have his diet has to be on point. I saw a thing. Do you know who Eddie Hall is? Eddie Hall, he's a world's strongest man type of guy.
I'm sure I've seen him
He's
on
the
one
guy
of the
from England.
shows, probably.
Yeah, he
Just
did
ridiculously jacked.
He's the one no, he's not jacked, he's just a big dude, but he's the
Okay.
one with the mohawk that's from England. He was on that show with Brian Shaw and all those guys, but he was saying that he eats 10,000 calories a day to be able to maintain a day.
That's ridiculous.
5 to 6 chickens a day
Wow.
to maintain what he's done as far as the work that he's put in.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at it, they say,
That's dedication in itself.
he said
eating
it's
that much
hard
throughout a day.
It's hard. Can you imagine?
No.
Yeah. I mean, I think that I would like to try.
Depends on what we're eating. Is it ice cream, hamburgers?
He eats a
or
full
is it
cheesecake
raw
at dinner.
chicken? Oh,
A
okay.
full cheesecake.
I'm down with that.
Who does not love cheesecake?
I surely don't.
It's just especially with strawberries on it.
Ooh, much better.
Anywho, the point of the whole thing though is it's all everything's running at one time for him. He's got to work out. He's got to lift heavy. He's got to eat properly. He's got to get the right amount of sleep. He's got to fix and cure the injuries that pop up. He's got to do all these things to be an athlete. And so it's the same thing for you as advisors. And so when we look at catalyst, cultivation, consistency, and close, these are the 4 components. It's this simple, in my opinion, that it takes to take your business to the next level. Once you've mastered these, you can take your business to the next level.
Mhm.
The good news is most of you listening to this podcast right now have already started doing the first one.
I would say the majority probably have
Almost
one good
everybody.
one down, and then maybe, 2 to 3 that they really need to tweak and add one more to it.
Yeah, I'd say they're probably pretty proficient in one.
Mhm.
They're okay at another.
Right.
They could use a lot of work on one, and one's just basically ghosted.
They're not doing it all.
It's history.
Agreed.
And so we see that. So let's talk a little bit about catalysts. So when you discuss the catalyst with an advisor, where do you go with that? What do you discuss, and why is that such an important component to their business and practice?
I think it's the hardest and the easiest all at the same time. The majority of advisors that do market, they're using catalyst strategies. So a catalyst is something that is going to get you in front of the most people right away that you can close business. So perfect example, a seminar. You advertise for a few weeks, they come in, they meet you, you do a presentation, set the appointment, and they're coming in and you're doing business there.
Would it be safe to call that the Paul Walker of marketing?
Why the Paul Walker?
Because it's Fast and Furious. No?
Yeah. No, that's very cheesy. But yes, you could if you really want to.
I can do that when I do the bad
What
joke.
was that one? Wah, wah, wah.
Let's be honest, those are pretty bad. Or you could say because
How do you know which sound effect you're doing?
because I've got the little buttons over here.
Did you already have them set, or does it show a picture?
This
or
one came with a
something?
factory, baby. I know these things. I learned it.
Wah, wah,
Yeah.
wah.
Normally when I do jokes, I get this though.
The wah wah's funnier.
The Wawa's funnier.
Yeah.
But what I like to do is bring people magic.
Ooh,
Yes, which is important.
fancy. Are
Reason-
we going to call you Magic Mike?
Why wouldn't we? I don't understand. We haven't been.
That's not my name. What's happening
we,
here?
we haven't been calling me Magic Mike. This is bullshit. Anywho, back to business. I call it the Paul Walker because catalyst is almost like the when you have the engines that are full of the nitrous,
Nitrous.
right?
Yep.
It's powerful. It hits right now. It speeds everything up.
Yeah.
It gets it going, but it's not long lasting.
No, what happens once the nitrous is out?
It's over,
You're kaput.
which we see a lot of times. And if you use too much nitrous, what can happen?
Blows up.
Engine blows out. I wish I had
Then
a.
you're only living your life a quarter mile at a time.
That's scary.
It's very scary. What happens if you only use a catalyst strategy?
Things are bad. This is not gonna. We're gonna. This whole damn thing's gonna be an hour long of sound effects, but that's okay.
That's just laughing.
People are excited about what we said.
I think so.
Woo!
Oh, we can laugh.
Hell yes, we
laugh at our
can. That's
own
some funny shit.
jokes.
That seemed legit
That
and
one
real.
yeah,
That seemed real.
seemed genuine.
Yeah, those people. That was creepier than it needed to be. Anyways,
That was weird.
back to the podcast. Yeah, so it's short-lived. It's something that most people live. But don't you think that that's like the number one MO? That's regularly one of the only things that most FMOs are promoting right now?
100%. It's just now seeing other people jump on the bandwagon that we've been doing for years, which is cultivating relationships. So it's obviously is our next one. But yeah, the majority of field marketing organizations, marketing companies just outside are really pushing Catalyst. And don't get me wrong, we are not against Catalyst. We use Catalyst.
I think Catalyst is fantastic, but it can't be your only thing because
Correct.
as we go through these, you'll see the rest of the reasons why we are concerned about it.
Yeah. And besides for it being short-lived, most of the time it's pretty pricey as well. So you need to make sure you're closing that business to have a decent ROI if that's all you're doing.
Absolutely. So when we come back, we're going to continue talking about the 4 C's. The next one's going to be
Cultivate.
very, very important. Make sure you stick around, everybody. There'll be more coming your way here shortly.